Yo, what is happening, guys? Welcome back to the Let's Talk Fine channel. As you can tell by title and the thumbnail today, we will be talking about King Kenny and who he should fight next. Because there's a big conversation on right now about who King Kenny should fight next. Should he fight Anthony Taylor? Or should he fight FaZe Jarvis? Or just Jarvis, actually, minus the FaZe. Jarvis. There's this big discussion. It was on Twitter Spaces. Wade was talking about it. Keemstar was talking about it. Moms Taylor was talking about it. Nico, all the Beta Squad was talking about it. You know, everybody's debating it and saying who they think. They did a poll about who King Kenny should fight, I think, on the Beta Squad page or something like that. And I think Jarvis received 52% of the votes. But I was just looking at it and I was like, what's my opinion on it? What do I think? Because I've seen a lot of people divided. A lot of people are saying Jarvis is a more entertaining fight. They're more invested. A lot of people are saying Anthony Taylor because, you know, he's coming off the win against Sal Poppy. And here's my overall opinion on it. Jarvis and Anthony Taylor, right? Obviously, Jarvis is out of Kingpin. They're not having that final event. All the fighters have been like, right, fuck Kingpin. I haven't been paid. Screw y'all. So Kingpin is done. Kingpin is dead. Kingpin is rip in the bin. Jarvis does obviously have that. Jarvis was trying to get a fight on Misfits against Salt Poppy, but that fight wasn't being brought to fruition, obviously. Now, he kind of wants to fight Kenny. Anthony Taylor wants to fight Kenny. This is on the Prime card. I believe King Kenny is fighting someone for a belt of his weight class, because I think they said on the Prime card there's going to be like 7 title fights or something like that. I don't know if that's true. Y'all can let me know, but I think he said there's going to be like 7 title fights or something. So King Kenny's obviously going to be fighting for a belt. And King Kenny has obviously fought for Misfits before, so it's not going to be hard for Kenny to come over back to Misfits. He's fought on Misfits before. He fought Temper at a different time. But he fought Sensei, he fought Raksu, he fought a bunch of people, fought DK Money, and also he's fought a couple times with Misfits. I think it comes down to Jarvis and Anthony Taylor. What I think it comes down to is my opinion. I think King Kenny versus FaZe Jarvis is a more entertaining fight in the eyes of YouTube and me. And what I mean by that is, when you say King Kenny versus FaZe Jarvis, or you say King Kenny versus Anthony Taylor, King Kenny versus FaZe Jarvis, or I keep saying FaZe Jarvis, King Kenny versus Jarvis, is literally the case of, 2 YouTubers, you know, 2 big YouTubers who were both in the Kingpin tournament coming over to Misfits. That would be entertaining, because Jarvis is going to come forward. He's going to put the pressure on. Kenny's going to stay behind his job. You know, it's probably going to be like a head-on fight the entire time. So in the eyes of like YouTube and me, I think I'm more invested in the people involved in that fight. When it comes to Anthony Taylor, I think Anthony Taylor is the tougher fight for King Kenny than Jarvis. And that is the fight that would be more action-packed in my opinion, because Anthony Taylor against Salt Poppy, we saw him kept coming forward. Kenny's probably going to try and stay on his job, throw combos together like he did against Wenderson Nunes. He's probably going to do that, put on a boxing clinic, all of that. And it's for a title. So to Jarvis and Anthony, I think, personally, Kenny should fight. I'm making news with it. Anthony Taylor. I think he should fight Anthony Taylor. The reason for it is, I'm more invested in Jarvis versus Kenny as... Oh yeah, they were both in the Kingpin tournament, blah, blah, blah. So there is investment there, right? But the reason I think Anthony Taylor is the correct answer, Jarvis has never fought on Kingpin. Anthony Taylor has been there, been loyal to it. This is coming from Moms Taylor as well, which I completely agree with. Anthony Taylor's been loyal to Misfits, sorry. He's fought there multiple times. Moms Taylor said whenever Anthony Taylor soccer punched Dylan Dennis, he put the fight in jeopardy of KSI. That's why he threw Anthony Taylor in there with Idris Fergo as a punishment. Anthony Taylor took it on chin, goes fair enough. He took that, he continued to move forward. He came in and saw Poppy. He could have easily just, been hesitant, but he went right at Salt Poppy. Even when he was getting caught, he kept going right at Salt Poppy, and he took the fight to him. He took down Salt Poppy, who was hyped to be one of the best fighters on Misfits, and I still think is, but he needed that loss to improve. But he was one of the most hyped fighters. Anthony Taylor came in and beat him. So I think Anthony Taylor deserves it more because he's been more consistent with it. He's been more loyal to it, and he's coming off a win. You know, he fought Idris Virgo, then he fought Saul Poppy, and he beat Saul Poppy. And although it was only 3 rounds, he won. He's built the hype. His last fight got cancelled. I think he deserves that title fight. When it comes to Jarvis, I like Jarvis, but Jarvis is coming off a loss. He's never fought on Misfits, like I said, and I don't think it's as close of a fight as Anthony Taylor because we saw Jarvis struggle with Gibb. Now, I want to say this. A lot of people are thinking because Jarvis lost to Gibb that Jarvis is an easy fight. I want to make this clear. Jarvis is not an easy fight. I still think Jarvis is a good boxer. He just lacks the experience. He's only had, what, 3 fights? He's only had 3 fights. And he was in there with Tom Zanetti, who he did very well against. He was in there with Michael Lee, who didn't really put up much of a challenge, but that was his first fight too. He was in there with Gibb. Gibb is a machine. Gibb's a cardio machine. Gibb's going to stay on you, continue to move, hit you, jab, move, body work, do all that. A lot of people can't last with Gibb. So to fight him on your third fight, you know, I didn't really. I know I thought Jarvis might have caught him, but see now looking back at it, yeah, no, it make 100% right that Gibb won. I just thought Gibb's chin was gonna be out, but the experience showed, and Gibb beat him. And I don't think Jarvis is an easy fight, so I want to make that clear. But I do think Anthony Taylor is the correct choice because of everything I've just listed. And I agree with Mams Taylor. I think you bring Jarvis in, you get him a couple fights, you build him up in Misfits, and then maybe you can talk about the Saul Poppy fight, maybe you can talk about the King Kenny fight, maybe you can start talking about that. But I think you got to build him up first. Um, you can't have him come in on a loss, face Kenny. I think Kenny beats Jarvis. I don't think Jarvis is an easy opponent, but Kenny proves on Kingpin that he has skills when he actually just says, fuck it, I'm not going to be hesitant, I'm going to go for it. And I think King Kenny wins that, and you don't want Jarvis to come off a loss to come in and take another loss, because then where does that leave him? You know what I mean? And I agree with everything Mams Taylor said, so I think Anthony Taylor's definitely the correct choice. He also mentioned about maybe getting Jarvis versus McBroom, because they both lost to Gibb. And I actually would be invested in that fight. I would like to see that because they both lost to Gibb, like I said. So having them two fight, I think Jarvis takes that one personally. I just don't think Austin McBroom will be able to stop Jarvis walking through. And I think Jarvis might take that one, and then I'll build him a little bit, and then you can see who he wants to fight. You need to get Jarvis to fight, I don't know, the likes of Nick Lamau or something, because Nick Lamau has been built by the tag team thing and beating Jay Swingler, because he did beat Jay Swingler. So he's been built like that, so maybe you can get a fight with him. Then, like I said, down the line, maybe a Saul Poppy, King Kenny type fight, or even maybe Anthony Taylor fight, who knows. But yeah, so King Kenny versus Anthony Taylor, in my opinion, is the right choice, especially for the title. You can't give Jarvis a title fight in his first Misfits fight and coming off a loss. You got to give it to somebody who I think deserves the title fight right now, which is Anthony Taylor. And that will, I think, be a very good fight. King Kenny's the better boxer than Anthony Taylor, but I still think Anthony Taylor has a chance of winning just because he comes forward and he might put the pressure on and Kenny might not like it. So I think that's a more entertaining fight. I would still like to see Jarvis on Misfits. And one thing I think everybody's got to respect about Jarvis is, although I don't think that he should get the opportunity yet to fight Kenny and Saul Poppy, the fact that he's willing to come and fight Kenny, and especially like Saul Poppy as well, you got to respect it. He doesn't back down from fights. He wants the best fighters, and he wants to get in there, and he wants to fight, and he wants to beat them. So you got to respect that. So I definitely think 100% bring him the Misfits. If you can get the Austin McBroom fight, I think that's great. If not, I think Jarvis versus Nick Lamau might actually be a decent fight. I do. I really do. Jarvis versus Nick Lamau or Jarvis versus Swarms or something like that, I actually think would be a decent fight. Especially, or even versus B Dave, fuck it, just for the piss, like just because B Dave is just a fucking, he just walks towards you. But Nick Lamau versus Jarvis, I think, wouldn't be a bad fight. But Anthony Taylor, King Kenny, that's the right choice. I hope Mams Taylor makes that right choice. I hope it's on the prime card. I cannot wait. It'll be after, obviously, it will be Misfits 10, because Misfits 9 is coming up. But you just can let me know down in the comments below what you think. Do you think he should fight Jarvis, or do you think he should fight Anthony Taylor? What is your opinion on it? Why do you think he should fight the person that you're choosing? And how do you see it going? Who do you think he would beat? Do you think he'd beat both of them? Do you think they both beat him? Do you think he'd beat Anthony and lose to Jarvis, or vice versa? Let me know in the comments down below. But as always, hope you all are thinking positive, test negative. Hope you all have an amazing day. As always, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. So, peace.